The following is a live presentation of News Channel Nebraska Sports.
It's time for the 2017 NCN Sports Now State Basketball Show, brought to you by Midwest Bank.
And welcome back to the Pinnacle Bank Arena, Day 2 of the Girls State Basketball Championships. And we're bringing it to you live here on News Channel Nebraska. NCN Sports Now State Basketball Show. Brandon Axmit, Eric McKay. More basketball on Friday. The championships are getting set up for Saturday, and we have a lot of basketball to talk about.
That we do, and again, our highlight show brought to you by Midwest Bank, serving 9 communities across eastern Nebraska. Here they are on this piece of paper: Pierce, Pilger, Deschler, Plainview, Creighton, York, Norfolk, Lincoln, and Wisner. And there were about that many cities, it seemed, in every game today, with all the different combinations of schools that have come about. But a lot of very interesting matchups today. A lot of upsets yesterday. It was interesting to see if we'd see those again today.
Some potential rematches in the state championship coming up tomorrow. 1 seed did fall as well. We're not going to tell you which one that was. You'll have to wait and see. But the competitive nature of basketball is alive and well, as you would expect here in the semifinal rounds.
Absolutely, and started this morning with a lot of really great matchups. You had a chance to get out and get to some of the Class C1 matchups. This was one of the brackets that was more paid attention to, I think, than a few others because of the pedigree of the teams at the top end of the class, and all of them got to do battle against each other today.
And it's Kearney Catholic and Ord is how we kick things off. Actually, the Stars trying to get back to the state championship, trying to defend their state title from last year, but they had to get through Ord, a team they had beat 21 times in a row. But Ord, they had upsets on their mind. They took down Mitchell yesterday, and they played Kearney Catholic very close. Let's see what happened. Class C1 semifinals at Pinnacle Bank Arena Friday morning in the first game of the day. Number 7 seeded Ord taking on number 3 seeded Kearney Catholic. And getting things started off, Anna Squires. No surprise there with the Stars trailing by 1 in the first quarter. Now this is in the winding seconds of the first period. Count the basket and foul. Ashlyn Schmatterer gives her team the 9-7 lead. Kearney would take a 1-point lead into the second quarter, but the second quarter was the Chanticleers. They went off. Daniel Ray with the bucket, then back down the court. Madeline Hagee working it inside. Now we're going to keep going with Ord. Alexandra Smith from way downtown. She paced Ord with 15 points in the effort. And Cora Svoboda, she had 4 points as well. Pass inside. She finds the back door. Now, Delaney Fay, who was getting a lot of assists in that period, but she can score as well. There's the three-pointer as Ord outscores Kearney Catholic 15-4 in the second period. Chanticleers up 10 going into halftime. But the Stars would respond. Anna Squires, count the basket and fell there. She led her team with 15 points. And Kylie Teal, at the end of the third period, gets the layup, as Ord would still lead by 7 at this point, but the momentum was starting and the snowball was rolling downhill in the fourth. Thiel with the triple. Now Thiel in transition for the Stars. She finds Schmatterer with the lay-in. Kearney Catholic went on a roll, outscores Ord 27-6 to end the game, and goes on for the 44-37 win.
You know, we changed defenses and did some different things, and I think that was a big key. We tried to limit their 2 best players, and our kids did a great job defensively. It means we've had a pretty darn good year, and that's your goal, is to get to the final game tomorrow. And, honestly, we're going to have to play a lot better tomorrow.
That was a heartbreaking loss for Ord, but head coach Dexter Goodner said he was proud of his team's performance in the semifinals and all season long.
These girls have bought into what we're doing, and they came out and they executed really well. And it's a building block. We're still pretty young. We still have opportunities to grow and learn. And so there is that silver lining, but man, it's tough to see right now.
With the victory, Kearney Catholic looks to defend its title on Saturday. They will face Lincoln Christian in a rematch of last year's state final. I'm Brandon Axmit in Lincoln reporting, NCN Sports Now. So Kearney Catholic gets the victory. They have a chance to defend their state title from last year, getting past Ord, and they're taking on Lincoln Christian. We'll take a look at some highlights from that game prior, but Eric, you heard it from Coach Rick Petrie. 3.5 quarters. Kearney Catholic not looking like the undefeated team that they are. Great teams find a way to win. They turned it on. But again, Lincoln Christian, which we'll see, scores a lot. And right now, Kearney Catholic putting up 44 points is the most they've done this tournament.
If Rick Petrie can somehow bottle up what Kearney Catholic was able to do for the last 12 minutes of this game, they've got a shot against Lincoln Christian. If they play the first half the way they did against Ord today, they're going to get run out of the gym tomorrow. We kind of spoiled the next highlight package by saying Lincoln Christian, but let's face it, everybody knows what happened. This is a good team that Kearney Catholic is facing tomorrow. They're going to need a full 4 quarters if they're going to defend their title.
And Lincoln Christian in action in the semifinal against Bishop Neumann. They've played each other 5 times, but Lincoln Christian put up 84 points. And when you do that more times than not, you're going to get the win. Let's take a look at what happened between the Cavaliers and the Crusaders. Class C1 semifinals at Pinnacle Bank Arena, number 1 versus number 5. Bishop Neumann and Lincoln Christian clashing for the 5th time this season. Ashlyn Powers gets things started for Lincoln Christian, taking the baseline. She had 17 points, puts Christian up early. Now Powers showing she could dribble, she could also shoot from downtown, buries the three-pointer as there was a lot from beyond the arc. In fact, reference where Tatum Coleman is on this shot, halfway between half court and the three-point line, and it doesn't matter because she sinks it, nothing but net. That was by far her longest of 4 triples on the night. Now Bishop Neumann needs to regroup. We're still in the first quarter, and they have a timeout to do so, and coming out of that break, Lindsay Field dialing it up from downtown. She knocks down the triple, and following that up is Aspen Janza on the inbounds. She loses her defender, and you cannot leave her open. She makes them pay. Lincoln Christian with just a 3-point lead after the first 8 minutes. But unfortunately for Bishop Neumann, the Crusaders would hit another gear in that second quarter. Michaela Gaislerova knocking it down from way beyond the arc. The 3-point shooting barrage took off in that second period. Following suit for her is Coleman again, same spot, different shooter. Rattles that one home, and then Coleman just works her way around the perimeter. This time she's in the corner. It doesn't matter. She buries the 3 as well. Coleman had 16 as there were several Crusaders in double digits. There you see the ankle not bothering Chloe Dworak. She had 14 points in the effort, and Coleman follows suit, driving inside, getting the lay-in. Lincoln Christian takes over and goes on for the easy 84-53 win.
This has been like an NBA series because we've played them, seen them 5 times, which has been crazy. But man, I was just so encouraged, so impressed by our girls' character. Not knowing whether what Chloe was going to be able to do, and she just gave a gritty performance today. And our shooting today was one of the best that we've had all year.
So with the victory, the Crusaders have a shot at redemption. They get a rematch with Kearney Catholic in the Class C1 final at 9 a.m. on Saturday.
They're a championship team. Even today, they were buried, and they came back and won against Ord. So, yeah, they're a great team, and we're looking forward to going toe-to-toe with them tomorrow for the championship.
I'm Brandon Axsmith in Lincoln reporting, NCN Sports Now. So you heard Coach Orduna saying that that's one of the best games that his team has played. They knocked down 14 three-pointers, actually 5 three-pointers short of the state record, which is 19. Some Seward teams were able to light it up from downtown, but man, Eric, 84 points, the Crusaders looking like the team to beat, and again, revenge is a factor that plays into this one because a lot of people expected the Crusaders to defeat Kearney Catholic last year, and the Stars surprised some people and actually edged them by 2.
Absolutely, but this year you've got a Lincoln Christian team, 84 points. That hadn't been done in a Class C1 state tournament game since 2001 when, coincidentally, Bishop Neumann did it. Dropped 92 on Ainsworth in the opening round back in 01. But you're right, Brandon. Kearney Catholic and Coach Orduna said it is a championship caliber team. I don't think we'll see a 31-point differential tomorrow. Absolutely not.
And the key for Kearney Catholic is defensively, where do you go? Because they had 4 different players. Dworak, who wasn't hobbled by that sprained injury, 14 points apiece by 4 of their 5 starters or more. You have Gaislerova with 25 and Powers with 17, so that is the key for Kearney Catholic. I mean, it's not something like they knew they wouldn't have to do. It's just a matter of doing it.
And you can't just do what you can do with teams that maybe have 2 or 3 good players, which is, well, we'll just start in a 2-3 zone. We'll extend it because they'll shoot over top of it. You've seen the kind of range they have. They have a zone-breaking offense. You've got to man up. You've got to defend as best as you can. And you've got to do it for all the full length of the floor.
And we'll find out very soon what will happen. 9 a.m. for the C1 Championship tomorrow. We'll be having all the action. Let's take a look now at the Class C1 bracket and how things have shaken out. The bracket brought to you by Faith Regional Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. They know sports medicine like no one else, and you see it there. Kearney Catholic making their way down the line, getting the victory over Ord 44-37, and they face off with Lincoln Christian, who took down Bishop Newman 84-53. A rematch from last year's state championship where Kearney Catholic won 39-37. We're looking forward to Class C1.
Absolutely. Now we move on to Class D1, the other class in the morning session today, and another championship caliber team, Guardian Angels Central Catholic, back into the semifinals, a place where they're pretty comfortable, taking on a team that's never been there before, never been here before, North Central, but looked very impressive in round 1. How would this one shake out? Well, John Kipper's got the answer.
The North Central Lady Knights making their first state tourney appearance, taking on GACC number 4 versus number 1 matchup in D1. Winner goes to the championship game on Saturday. Let's go on with Skylar Cosgrove knocking down a jumper for the Lady Knights, getting on them early, and then we're going to see Maddie Kenobi easily put one through. Kenobi, 14 points in this affair. Then we're going to go Lexi Haas over to Lauren Wobkin. Wobkin's going to fall down, but that bucket still falls. GACC playing well early, up 5 after the first quarter. Now, second quarter, we're going to see one heck of a pass from Jaden Businger over to JC Fleming, who puts it through, 11 points for Fleming. And then 5'3" Cosgrove able to work the bigs a little bit for GACC to knock one down. From there, Lexi Haas show at Bob Devaney Sports Center. Nice play we see from her there. And then Emily Reeson gets going as well, puts one through. Lexi Haas had 18 first half points. Head coach Jerry Strachey of GACC says he knew the Knights would be in bad shape once he saw Haas get going.
I mean, she's on. It's tough to guard her. You know, she makes a lot of things happen because they have to honor her and get out on her, and that opens up a lot of other things too.
North Central was out-rebounded in the game drastically by GACC. Head coach Alex McCleary says his team had no answer for the Blue Jays' height.
They're listed at those heights, and they're every bit of those heights. So you don't get to see that, you know, when you're playing D1, D2 teams.
The Lady Knights would have some bright spots in the second half, though, as we see Lexi Hyden knock down a three-pointer for the Knights, and then Kaylin Orton gets open, makes a jumper as well. She had 6 points in the semifinal matchup. After all, though, GACC wins this one 67-50 to go back to the state championship game. Head coach Jerry Strecky says this is a different team that lost to Crofton last year.
It's a different group of girls, different season, and it's just happy that they get a chance to experience it.
This was the first ever semifinal game for the Knights. McCleary thinks inexperience hurt them.
It comes back to, you know, a little bit of first-time experience down here, you know, not knowing, you know, necessarily how to prepare for it, I guess, and that's kind of on me. You know, because, you know, obviously you can draw stuff up and talk about how you're going to defend it, but until, you know, the real thing happens, it's, you know, it's a whole different ball game.
GACC will play in the title game at 11 a.m. on Saturday. Reporting in Lincoln for NCN Sports Now, I'm John Kipper.
So experience pays off. Guardian Angels Central Catholic makes it to their 8th championship game all time, looking for title number 6 to join some rarefied air there. Only a few schools have hit that magic number of 6. And GACC's played like a team all year that could run roughshod over Class D1. It's been a little bit tougher than I think they would have expected, Brandon, but GACC showed themselves to be the championship caliber team that everyone thought they were today.
And, of course, the program in general, 21 trips to the state tournament, not at all strangers to this opportunity, and they're very much looking forward to it on Saturday, and they're taking on another foe after the winner of the Class D1 semifinals, which we'll tell them about.
Absolutely, and they've faced an inexperienced team at state today. They get another one tomorrow. Dundee County Stratton and Heartland, 2 schools not exactly familiar with the state tournament, although for DCS, this is their 4th straight trip after having never made it prior to 2013. But the winner of this one knows they've got a tall task tomorrow. Who will it be? Well, Jay Hannock can tell us all about it.
Heartland taking on Dundee County Stratton, number 3 versus number 2 at the Vandy Center on Friday in the semifinals in Class D1. It was Dundee County Stratton building an early lead and taking an 18-9 lead entering the half. But that's when Heartland made a little bit of a run. Nice drive and finish inside. They would get the lead down to as little as 5 in the third quarter. Then here a nice drive and a good jump shot and one finish for the Huskies. But DCS would live at the free throw line in the second half and eventually pulled away with a 48-31 victory over top of Heartland.
Well, I got a little tired, and so they were going by us, kind of got a little reach happy maybe a little bit, and but you know, they executed their offense too, so that's just how it went.
The Heartland Huskies, who are in their first ever appearance at the state tournament here in Lincoln, will travel to Lincoln Southwest High School for their third place game coming up on Saturday. They will play North Central High School in that matchup. It'll be hard for Coach Greg Bierhusen to leave 3 seniors off his roster after this season, but 2 juniors and a sophomore, all averaging double figures, make Heartland prime for a potential state tournament run again next season.
I think we came out a little bit shell-shocked a little bit, you know, with the atmosphere and everything, and never being here before. You know, yeah, the third place game gives you a chance to have your seniors go out on a high note. It's nice that you get that extra game in there, and so and then it'll be good for our younger players to get extra state experience.
Heartland will play North Central on Saturday at 1 p.m. Reporting in Lincoln, I'm Jay Hanna, NCN Sports Now.
And joining us now on the NCN Sports Now Sports Desk, Jay Hanna with our Beatrice outfit, NCN 21. He was the man who did those highlights. Very good job, first off, as always. Jay, how you doing joining us tonight?
Oh, I'm doing great. You know, I've been looking forward to this all year long, and, you know, it's been fun so far.
Jay was at the state capitol yesterday. Jay was at Tecumseh, and Jay was covering sports. And he's back covering sports, so we're glad to have him, but he's a man of many talents. So, Jay, let's break down this Dundee County Stratton Heartland game a little bit more. Something you got to see, Heartland in the Grand Island coverage area, and they're making it to state, but Dundee County Stratton proved to be too much. Yeah, Dundee County Stratton is a team that was completely undefeated going into this tournament, and obviously still are. But they're a team that's outscored their opponents 63-28 on average this season. That's a 35-point differential, and you know, Heartland just didn't have enough to get going. Didn't have enough to overcome their tough defense. And talking about that defense, but you've seen them a little bit. What is it that they do so well that allows them to outscore the opponents with that differential? What is it that Dundee County Stratton is doing and what they're going to hope to do when they take on GACC tomorrow? You know, they do a great job of just running and in transition. They shoot a lot of threes in transition and offensive rebounds. I think that's what I want to stress the most about Dundee County Stratton. They have 2 or 3 girls that really crash the offensive glass, and, you know, those offensive putbacks leads to free throws, leads to a couple layups here and there, and that changes the momentum in the entire game. And of course, we're talking about the bracket they're taking on Guardian Angel Central Catholic, a team that is not at all afraid of being in the state championship. They've been there many times before. So, do you have any predictions for the championship coming up? Or what do you think is going to happen for either team? That's very tough to say because you go with the Guardian Angels team that drops down a class from C2 last year. They were the runner-up last year, now playing in D1. And, you know, Dundee County Stratton hasn't lost all year long, so it'd be tough to pick against them. Obviously, Guardian Angels being here last year has the experience, but if I had to pick, I'd say Dundee County. They really impressed me today against a tough Heartland team that I'm just going to say Heartland may be back next year. This was their first time ever being here, but with 3 juniors all averaging, or 2 juniors and 1 sophomore all averaging in double figures. And, you know, they're losing a couple seniors, not too much of the point scorers, but they're going to be bringing a lot back next year. Well, you had a chance to talk to the Heartland head coach as well. Obviously, it's, you know, you're kind of a deer in headlights a little bit, your first time down in Lincoln, but what was his reaction? I mean, we saw some of it in the highlight package, but just on his trip down to Lincoln with his girls, and of course being young and aspirations to get back here next year. What was the message and the positive mindset after the game?
Yeah, he used the term. He used the term deer in headlights, and I think that was the exact definition. They got off to a really, really slow start and couldn't really recover from that. They had times where they cut it between 4 points, but they never really got over the hump. And I think this experience today and that third place games tomorrow is going to be really key in the development of those sophomores and juniors. And, obviously it's just a lot of fun to be here for the first time.
And we're going to be covering those third-place games as well, so be sure to tune in on Saturday. Now, Jay, do you know which games you have tomorrow?
Well, I have the 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock third-place games. I'd have to go back through, but then I get a fun one tomorrow night, the final game of the weekend. I'm lucky enough to cover Falls City Sacred Heart, and it looks to be maybe Why Not. That game's winding down. I think Why Not has a 2 or a 4-point lead down the stretch, so I have to check and see. But at Why Not or St. Mary's, if it's Why Not, Falls City Sacred Heart was eliminated by Wynot last year in the state semifinals. And so those seniors, Falls City Sacred Heart led by 3 seniors that are the entire team. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do next year. Falls City Sacred Heart's always here, and but I got to say that they want this one, and it should be fun to watch.
Well, we'll be looking forward to those highlights. We hope you'll be looking forward to them as well. Jay, thank you for stopping in. It's always a pleasure. Any final thoughts you want to leave our audience with here tonight?
I just got to say, these girls here, they're all polite, they all play hard, and it's a lot of fun to be able to cover them. You get the boys next weekend, but it's something different about the girls' state tournament. You see some of these kids that get here for the first time, and it's just a blessing to be able to tell their story, and, I'm having a lot of fun. Great to work with you again. I don't get to see you as much anymore, but, no, it's been a great weekend.
We'll be getting to see each other tomorrow as well as next weekend. The boys' coverage will be hopefully just as good as the girls. Jay, Hannah joining us from our Beatrice Bureau. Let's now take a look at the D1 brackets as we break this one down and look forward to Saturday. And you see it right here in Class D1, the championship, GACC and Dundee County Stratton. As the Tigers undefeated, looking for the championship in GACC with very similar aspirations. Again, this bracket brought to you by Faith Regional Health Services and Physical Therapy. If your athlete gets injured, trust the team of doctors, physical therapists, and certified athletic trainers at Faith Regional Health Services. Well, we're about halfway through this show. Stay with us here on News Channel Nebraska, the NCN Sports Now State Basketball Show. We'll be back. We'll have more highlights, stats, and analysis in just a few minutes.
At Midwest Bank, our business service is more than just a place for deposits and loan payments. We are here to help your business run more efficiently and be more successful. You deserve products that will make daily operations smoother and a banker who is working to build a stronger financial relationship with you. Visit your local Midwest Bank branch in Creighton, Norfolk, Pierce, Plainview, and Wisner. Member FDIC.
If you need therapy to recover from a surgery or a sports-related injury, Faith Regional Physical Therapy has a specialist for you.
Not all physical therapy is the same. Choose a team that delivers the best results.
Results come from having an advanced trained therapist working exclusively with you the entire session.
So no matter what type of therapy you need, we have the right specialist for you at Faith Regional Physical Therapy.
I understand that you work hard away from home, and when you get home, it should be comfortable. Hi, I'm Jay from Noakes. Noakes has been keeping people comfortable in southeast Nebraska and northern Kansas since 1961. And our highly trained technicians are available to handle all of your service issues, no matter what brand it is. So call the friendly folks at Noakes today and let us keep you comfortable all year long.
At Midwest Bank, service is more than our interaction with our customers. It is understanding the change in the banking process and how we can better serve our clients. Midwest Bank is changing the way that you can bank with the Midwest mobile app. This app allows you to transfer funds between accounts, make loan payments, and deposits anytime, anywhere. You can even pay your bills from the palm of your hand. Find out more at your local Midwest Bank branch in Creighton, Norfolk, Pierce, Plainview, and Wisner. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Guarantee Roofing and Sheet Metal of Nebraska has been providing long-term, high-performance roof assemblies for over 35 years. Guarantee works through all of Northeast and North Central Nebraska with solutions to your roofing and sheet metal needs. They offer a complete line of options for Main Street businesses, commercial facilities, and industrial plants. Rest assured that all work is done by Guarantee employees, never subcontracted. That's Guarantee Roofing and Sheet Metal in Norfolk.
Welcome back to NCN Sports Now, live from the Girls State Basketball Tournament, brought to you by Midwest Bank. Eric McKay, Brandon Axelman here. We've got 2 classes down, 4 to go. Class B, part of the midday session today. And Brandon, South Sioux City finally back in a familiar spot for the first time in 9 years, back into the state semifinals in Class B.
And they're taking on York, a team that made it to state last year. And it wasn't going to be an easy one. This one was a grinded-out type of game, and we maybe had some bonus basketball.
That we did. The fans got a little bit more than they paid for today. South Sioux versus York. Let's take a look at the highlights. Class B semifinals. South Sioux City taking on the Dukes of York. Try to advance to the championship game. McKenna Simmons would like to get there. She had a game-high 15 points in this one. Here's Sims working the baseline, finding the open shooter. That's Taryn Christensen from the baseline. Cardinals playing really well offensively early on. Here, Carissa Powell, almost impossible angle off the high window. South Sioux City playing early very well for Molly Hornbeck.
You know, when other parts of your game aren't going so well, that's one thing you can try to control, and I thought the girls' effort was definitely there tonight.
But York wouldn't go down without a fight. Tenley Hansen from straight away drills the triple. More from Hansen. The dribble drive draws damage, and she'll shoot at the free throw line. Playing well for head coach Matt Kern. More from York. From the outside, they really started to heat up. That one from Kennedy Mogul. And down low, and one from Carson Zumphy, impressing Nebraska head coach Amy Williams, who's in attendance. But South Sioux coming right back at him. Mary Beth Rasmussen with a pull-up jumper. South Sioux up 3, waning moments, up 3, no longer. Lauren Riley drills the 3 with 7 seconds to go. Cardinals try to get the game-winning shot. They don't, and we're going to overtime. Not a lot of made buckets in overtime, so we're showing you free throws. That miss keeps it a 3-point lead for South Sioux City. Coach Kern trying to draw up a winner. Lauren Riley would get another crack at it. Would she be a hero for the second straight time? No, misses the shot, and South Sioux City survives 41-38 to advance to the state championship.
You know, it was a gritty win. Like I told them, second half especially, definitely not the prettiest second half, but at the state tournament, sometimes that happens.
And now the Cardinals advance to their first state championship since 2008.
I just think that the girls need to remember the fundamentals and the things that got them to this point, and we just need to execute.
In Lincoln for NCN Sports, I'm Eric McKay. And so South Sioux City moves back to the championship in Class B for the first time in 9 years. And when Molly Hornbeck took over this program, this was the idea, to get them wins in the state tournament again. Of course, Molly Hornbeck knows a little thing about that. She won 4 as a player for South Sioux City during their great championship runs. Now, as a head coach, trying to build a championship pedigree of her own.
And of course, whenever a community, whenever a school can make it back for the first time in almost 10 years, that's something to get excited about, and they should be very well deserved about what they have the possibility to do. And that is, of course, bring home some hardware, the first place trophy for South Sioux City. And we saw a very similar game in terms of the result on the other side of the bracket.
That we did, and we saw a team with a lot of championship pedigree in Seward trying to get back to the championship game as an 8 seed after upsetting the defending champ yesterday. But in their way, a team that's seen a lot of success of late, Norris. Very interesting matchup in the semifinals. Let's show you how it went down. Class B semifinals at Pinnacle Bank Arena. The 8 seed Seward taking on Norris. Gotta have that cowbell. Seward able to get their buckets inside early. Nice look there from Kayla Luby. But everything that the Blue Jays would get inside, Norris seemed to answer outside. Michaela Boone with the triple as the Titans hold the lead at the half. Second half, more inside game from Seward. This time the strong drive from Riley Alfer for 2. But again, the Titans go back outside. Exact same spot as before. That is Michaela Boone again. And the Titans holding on to a lead as we head to the fourth quarter. But in the fourth, Seward really got established inside. Great inside finish here by Kendra Plackey for the Blue Jays. And this time Cameron Alfer with the right hand using window. Seward able to take a 1-point lead, but huge defensive plays down the stretch. This one, McKenna Sullivan leads to a run out. And then the very next time down the floor, another steal. It'll lead to another run out. A 2-on-1 for the Titans. Boone finds the open shooter. And those two plays would prove to be the difference.
You know, they react to it, and there's nothing we do as coaches for that. It's all up to them, and they see it all game. They read it, and those were huge. Those were huge.
So Norris gets the win, 46-39. Next up will be South Sioux City on Saturday.
Watched a little bit of them, obviously. Very, very good South Sioux City team, and we'll prepare more tonight and be ready for them tomorrow.
At the PBA for NCN Sports, I'm Eric McKay. So there you go, the Norris Titans back in the championship game for the third time in school history, but this time hoping the third time is the charm, as they've never cut down the nets here in Lincoln. But in their way, a team with a lot of championship pedigree, South Sioux City, trying to extend their state record and win an unprecedented 12th state title. Let's take a look at the brackets in Class B. Those again brought to you by Faith Regional Physical Therapy in Sports Medicine. If your athlete gets injured, trust the team of doctors, physical therapists, and certified athletic trainers at Faith Regional Health Services. And there you see South Sioux City, after their victory over Gretna, able to grind out a win against York. Coach Hornbeck would admit that that was not their best performance today, certainly not shooting the basketball. And they get a Norris team who can take advantage of that type of thing tomorrow. A very interesting matchup, 1 o'clock at the PBA tomorrow afternoon.
Well, now let's transition to Class C2. We dubbed it the bracket of chaos yesterday, and for good reason, because the 1 seed went down in Crofton. Diller Odell was the 8 seed, and they were the ones who advanced. But was it a flash in the pan, Eric? That was the question we had coming into Friday.
A lot of people wondering that. I'm reminded of Emerson Hubbard's run in Class D1 a couple of years ago when they were the 8th seed, made it to the championship game. Didn't win it, ended up getting the title the next year. So maybe Diller Odell could get a little bit of Emerson Hubbard's magic.
Well, they had Ravenna in the semifinal. John Kipper has more on what happened in that contest.
Number 8 seed Diller Odell trying to continue their Cinderella run in the way. Number 4 seed Ravenna leading things off with some Blue Jay action. We're going to see Rebecca Nizitka get open for a jumper after a pump fake. Knock down the shot to give the Jays an early lead. And then right in response is Katie Zarabanicki for Diller Odell. She's going to get fouled on that play as well. Go to the line and make the free throw. From there, Jordan Fidelki takes over a little bit as we see her put one through. And Madison Juergens gotten a little bit of foul trouble for the Griffins. She had to go out, so other seniors need to step up, namely Paige Vatash. She hits 2 3-pointers in the third quarter. Kristen Burrs also knocks down a tray for the Lady Griffins as they outscored Ravenna by 11 points in that second quarter. Madison Hayek, boy, did she have a good game against Crofton on Thursday. She had another one on Friday as well. As now we're going to see Zarabanicki get back into the action, put one through. Diller Odell playing very, very well in this game, and we're going to see Burrs hit another jump shot. So different players stepping up for the Lady Griffins in this matchup, but really it was the Madison Hayek show yet again as we see her put one through. Head coach John Moore says he's been seeing this all year from her.
She runs the show out there. She's our point guard. She's pretty quick. And she handles the ball well and sees the floor well.
Now the Blue Jays weren't ready to go away quite yet in the second half as they got another strong performance from Fidelki as we see her completely school the Griffin defense there. And then we're going to see a transition opportunity. Obviously the plan in these fast breaks is get the ball to Fidelki, and she puts it through. 23 points for her in this game. But Diller Odell just too much for Ravenna. They win this one 59-46. First title game in school history for basketball. But they were in the volleyball state title game just a few months back. Head coach John Moore hopes that comes in handy on Saturday.
coming all the way to the state finals, you dream of that. But these girls are really resilient. 5 senior starters, and they've been on the big stage before. So in volleyball, that is, and so it's fun to do it in basketball too.
Ravenna head coach Noah Mulsby says youth may have played into the loss.
I think we kind of panicked a little bit, We do kind of have a young team, and I think you could kind of see that it's crap. I got to be the one who makes a play. I got to be the one who does this instead of, just doing things in the flow.
Reporting in Lincoln for NCN Sports Now, I'm John Kipper.
Well, Eric, I think it's officially time to start paying attention to Diller Odell. I don't think on anybody's radar. You have Crofton in the first round, like we talked about last night. Everyone figures one and done. They've only been to the state tournament 2 times. The last time in 2004, and they're taking care of teams left and right, and they are playing on Saturday.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. With the win, this improves them to 22-4 on the year. So you can't really call them too much of a Cinderella. They've played well in a part of the state where the Class D caliber of basketball is pretty high in southeast Nebraska. So Diller Odell, no slouch as an 8 seed. I mean, it's surprising that they toppled Crofton, but once they did that, anything's possible.
And moving on to who they would be playing, Howells, Dodge, and Ponca. Ponca, the 7 seed, taking down number 2 last night, and we thought potentially an 8-7 in the final. Who would have thought that? But to find out if that's the case, we have highlights.
Howells Dodge is heading to the state championship, and Sam Brester is heading for the record books after a thrilling win over Ponca on Friday. Howells Dodge and Ponca battled for 4 quarters Friday afternoon, finishing off the first quarter with the Jaguars leading by 1 point, 12-11. Ponca responded very well, coming back in the second quarter to outscore Howells Dodge 12-9, taking a 23-21 lead into halftime. Jaguars came out of halftime, and Sam Brester took over in the third quarter, getting herself to the charity stripe 3 times, shooting a perfect 6 for 6.
We have a lot of girls that can make plays in certain situations, and you just got to trust them to do it. We didn't do too many adjustments. We just tried to take care of the ball a little better. I thought we did a good job of that. Better in the second half, just trying to blow by a girl without having to set a screen. I think that was kind of the key.
Emily Ritzdorf, Callie Brester, Sam Brester, and Mason Colhana combined to go 11 from 16 from the free throw line in the fourth quarter, which gave the Jaguars the push they needed to hold on for the win. With 9 seconds remaining, Ponca was down 47-44 when the last-second contested 3-point shot by Emily Rifle missed just off the left side of the bucket. The Jaguars grabbed the rebound, and Colhonic was able to dodge being fouled by defenders to run out the clock on the final 7 seconds.
It's just a great group of girls. They played their hearts out. We had a couple shots to go in. We had some turnovers and things like that, but that's part of the game. We had a rebound there that we needed, and we didn't get it, but that's just how it goes. But I'm very proud of them. They're a great group of girls.
In addition to leading her team to a win, Sam Brester's 22 points put her in the 27th position all-time in Nebraska girls basketball history for career points scored at 1791. Brester is currently just 1 point away from tying the 26th spot, and Cheryl Braithwaite of Arapahoe and surpassed Tricia Hoffman of Homer and Emerson Hubbard, who was at 1790. The Jaguars will face off with Diller Odell in the Class C2 state championship game at 4:30 p.m. on Saturday. I'm News Channel Nebraska's Grant Ott.
All right, thank you, Grant. Pleased to be joined now by the man who called the game on the radio for NCN 94.7 in Norfolk, Andrew Wolf. Andrew, thank you so much for joining me. All the talk on Howells Dodge coming into this tournament, and rightfully so. She's one of the most prolific scorers in Nebraska basketball history with Sam Brester. But what we've found out over the course of this tournament, what the rest of Nebraska is finding out, this is not a one-woman show.
No, Macy Colhonic has been a real difference maker in this one, as she's averaging about 8.5 points per game throughout the regular season in districts. Now in the state tournament, about 15.5, 16 points per game. So you made the good mention earlier of Sydney Solachik of Pierce when they made their title run a few years ago. But you look at Macy Colhonic, and also Sam Brester. They're just really the difference maker. And Howells Dodge, once they can get both of them going, it's hard to stop them.
That said, Brester is phenomenal. You've seen her in person a couple of times now. What is it that makes her so good at scoring the basketball?
She just kind of has her way down low. And I don't know exactly what thing it is yet. I'm trying to figure that out. Maybe I'll figure it out tomorrow. I don't know. She's a senior. It'll be her last game. But her footwork down in the lower post is so good. Her moves down low. She actually has had a couple shots right from the hip, is able to throw them up and somehow get it to go. But her placement, she knows exactly where she's at on the floor. And she's always when she turns around, it's just a perfect lay-in. It's almost like there's nobody around her. She's always able to just lay it in off the glass. And the good thing that she knows, too, if she's in a tough spot, she'll go right through the contact and get to the free throw line. She shot 40% last night, and today she got there 8 times. Actually, as a team, Howells Dodge was able to get there 28 times shooting free throws this afternoon, hitting 64% of them.
You haven't been able to figure out, neither is the state of Nebraska for the last 4 years, so that's okay. All right, so tomorrow they get the Cinderella.
Yes.
Diller Odell. You had a chance to see them as well.
Yeah.
Preview this matchup. What do you think are the keys in this one tomorrow?
Madison Juergens is a very good player for Diller Odell, and I think, it kind of comes down to stopping her. I don't know who exactly is going to match up with her quite yet. I mean, she plays down in the lower post, so maybe if Sam Brester's on her, maybe they put Aaron Prusha on her. I don't know. It'll be kind of maybe a height advantage, which I think Aaron Prusha has. She has about 2 to 3 inches on everybody on the floor. So it'll be interesting to see what they come out of right out of the gates, what defensive setup they have. So that's going to be interesting to see. But I think, today only 8 turnovers for Howells Dodge. They also forced 8 turnovers, too. So I think if they can kind of step that up a little bit defensively, the last 2 days, phenomenal. I can't really find a few things. I'm sure if you ask Coach Polacek, he can find a few things. But really, they have really looked sound defensively. And Diller Odell, we've seen them. They're the Cinderella, but it's going to be a good one tomorrow here at the PBA.
The only thing we will know is that tomorrow, for the first time since 2011, somebody other than Crofton will be cutting down the nets in Class C2. Let's take a look at those brackets. And again, it bears repeating. You need to see it in writing to make sure it actually happened. Yes, Crofton lost in the first round. They take down Ravenna as well today, fairly comfortably, and they await Howells Dodge, who get the win over a very good Ponca team, by the way. Ponca, as a 7 seed, that is a tough draw for them. You've seen them a couple times as well this year, Andrew. The Ponca Indians, a fantastic season. They played Crofton pretty tough when they played them earlier this year. So no fault at all for Ponca finishing in the third-place game tomorrow. Andrew, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
We got 2 classes left. Class A just finished up behind us. Class D2 finishing up at the Devaney as well. We'll get you highlights from those games coming up. You're watching NCN Sports Now live from Girls State on News Channel Nebraska.
There's a difference between making a living and making a life. For your family, your children, for yourself. That's why we choose to run our bank the way we do. Because it's never just about banking. And we're not just another bank. Pinnacle Bank. The way banking should be.
Need a doctor? At Faith Regional Physician Services, you get not only a doctor, but an entire team behind your health.
Connecting the best talent, technology, and services with over 100 providers in over 20 specialties.
You get primary care doctors,
advanced care practitioners,
specialists,
and surgeons,
working together to provide high-quality, seamless care.
Faith Regional Physician Services.
One provider network, connected for your health.
Guarantee Roofing and Sheet Metal has been Northeast and Central Nebraska's only full-service commercial roofing and light-gauge metal fabricator for over 35 years. Guarantee provides all in-house journeyman fabricators to service business, industry, churches, and hospitals by doing fabrication and installation of light-gauge pre-painted steel, aluminum, and copper. Exterior wall panels, standing seam roofs, and ductwork are just some of the applications available from the sheet metal professionals at Guarantee Roofing and Sheet Metal.
Ken's USAVE Health Mart Pharmacy and Tammy's Hallmark Store in Crete provides the best personal service and products in southeast Nebraska. They will make sure that no question goes unanswered, and if you have a question, Ken or Carrie will personally sit down with you and discuss the issue. That's quality service you can count on. Also, while you're there, check out Tammy's Hallmark Store. It's full of gifts and cards for any occasion. So stop by Ken's USAVE Health Mart in Crete and see for yourself the best personal service and products in southeast Nebraska.
And welcome back to the Pinnacle Bank Arena, NCN Sports Now live state basketball show. It is time to talk Class A. That means Tom Vilianco is with us. I'd like to remind you, This is brought to you by Midwest Bank, the official sponsor of the show. So, Tom, you've been hanging out at PBA for the majority of the day. Been seeing some good basketball. How are your thoughts just initially before we get into the brackets about what's played out here on Friday?
Been a lot of good basketball, Brandon, like you said. Thanks for having me on again. And, yeah, some upsets today, to say the least. And but that's what you play the game for. A lot of good crowds today, especially for the Class A 7 o'clock and 8:45 games. And, yeah, looking forward to tomorrow.
Well, let's take a look at the bracket. We're going to run down each game, and then we're going to break them down. So here's the bracket brought to you by Faith Regional Health Services, as they know sports medicine like no one else. So in Class A, we have another 1 seed that goes down. The Rockets fall to Lincoln Southwest in a close one, 65-64. The Silverhawks are in the final, and they will be taking on Millard South. That game that was playing behind us earlier just wrapped up, and the Millard South Patriots take down Pius 55-47. So, Tom, talking about that first one in Class A, Lincoln Southwest, Lincoln Northeast, the Rockets the top seed, just 2 losses coming into this one, and the favorite that a lot of people predicted, but it was the Silverhawks who came out on top. Now, how did they do that, as you were the one who got to see things play out?
Well, first, if you remember from last night, said it might be a close going, 5 points, 10 points game. Probably Northeast should win, just based on what you've seen so far this season. They played 2 games earlier in the season, Northeast versus Southwest, and they won by a combined average of 21.5 points. So Southwest was a huge underdog, but they came out and played a great game. They fought through it in the first half, where Northeast could have went up 15 or 20, but they held their ground, made some huge shots. Alex Bearda ended up with 21, I do believe. The senior point guard made some huge threes to keep him in it. And Jaden Ferguson, the sophomore, played really, really well. 23 points, some big inside buckets in the clutch.
And so with that victory, they'll be taking on Millard South. But the game that you just saw, Millard South and Pius, that was also a very good one. What were your takes from that contest?
I was actually talking to Zach Isherwood, the assistant coach for Millard South, pregame, and he was kind of giving me a little jab for last night when I said that Millard South hadn't been playing as well of late. But I told him, hey, I was giving you guys love, a little motivation, because I know how well they could be playing. And he told me, if we score 50 or more, I'm confident with a win. And sure enough, they scored 55 points tonight. And very impressive of how they played. Maddie Kroll, she's a freshman, took over the game. Steals, moving her feet on defense, made some big shots, and just her energy, her high motor was crucial for Millard South tonight and led them to a victory. Very impressive for a freshman that was playing like a senior. Has an offer from UNO so far, and I know talking to Amy Williams a little bit, she hadn't seen her play yet, and was impressed with her motor and how she played, and someone they're going to follow at Nebraska for the next few years.
I like that little tidbit, how you get the credit for motivating Millard South. I think that's fair, though. I think that's nothing wrong with that. But then, so you have them in the championship. It's Southwest and Millard South now. From your opinion, how do these two teams shake out on paper going against one another?
They haven't played each other during the regular season. I think it's going to be very similar to Northeast, Southwest. They should push it, Millard South, that is. Southwest will try to probably slow it down, stop them from pushing and trying to make turnovers. I see Millard South taking this one, but it could be close again, because if Southwest is shooting it and scoring it like they have, and all the girls on their team have been stepping up. Hannah Kelly, she had 2 big free throws from Lincoln Southwest tonight to clinch it for them. I could see it being a close game, another 5 to 10 point game coming down to the wire. But I think Millard South was with the way they play their defense and turn you over, should have the upper hand.
And if you're Coach Myers, my question is asking you to get yourself in his shoes. What's your motivational speech getting ready for this one, saying, hey, this is what we plan to do against Southwest to get the gold?
I just think they've practiced so hard. I know they do a lot of stuff in the off season of training and conditioning, unlike most teams. So they've been preparing for this, and last year they went out, had a tough loss in the state tournament. So they're very prepared mentally and physically to take on this task tomorrow, playing 3 games in 3 days. I think they have enough motivation, and I'm hoping for a really good game. And I also want to say the Northeast-Southwest game, McKenna Minter, the freshman stud for them, had 30 points, played really, really well, and just couldn't lead Northeast to the victory, but she was definitely a stud out there, and along with Maddie Kroll, I think the two best freshmen that I've seen in Nebraska that have a lot of promise.
I was going to say, you have these young guns coming up and playing well beyond their years as just 9th graders. What do you attribute that to, and what do you say that says about the state of girls Nebraska basketball in terms of high school?
I think they just play this AAU ball now, and I played it growing up in Alabama, and they're just playing more and more basketball. They both, Maddie Kroll and McKenna Minter, play for All Nebraska Attack, which actually Zach Isherwood and Coach Myers are coaching and run that organization in the summertime. And I think they're just getting a lot of reps, playing a lot of games, and getting to go out there and play their game and not be pigeonholed into certain positions or not be allowed to do certain things, which a lot of players sometimes have happen to them. But clearly they're doing well and growing fast as youngsters.
And we're looking forward to this Class A matchup between Southwest and Millard South. That one is at 6:30 on Saturday. We'll, of course, have the highlights, be recapping the action on Saturday night as well. But we have you with us. We want to talk about Class C1 a little bit. We touched about it earlier in the show, but it's a rematch. Kearney Catholic and Lincoln Christian. And, man, the Crusaders, 84 points, 4 3-pointers. And the big question was Dworak. Would she be hobbled by that ankle? But she still put up 14 points. As once one of 4 players, actually, for Lincoln Christian who hit that mark. They look very, very good.
An unbelievable performance for Lincoln Christian today. Chloe, as I was saying last night, ankle rolled, stuck it out. What a gritty performance by her. Obviously, it led the team big time. To see her out there limping around, but also hitting threes, getting to the basket, getting to the free throw line, I think the team just fed off it. That's the best that I've seen Lincoln Christian play all year. It's going to be interesting to see the Kearney Catholic, as they lost to them last year. It will be a tough win. I mean, Chloe's ankle is probably going to be even worse because she just played on it today. But she's going to fight through it. She's going to be out there at 9 a.m. And I think Lincoln Christian's going to pull it off. They've been preparing for this game all year. And come this far, go home, I think they need to go with a win, and it'll be close. It'll be close. I know Kearney Catholic is undefeated, and a lot of people are like, oh, it might not be that close, but it definitely will be. It's the pressure, and I'm looking forward to that game being close and the Class A game as well being close.
Well, Tom, as always, appreciate you stopping in, sharing your wisdom with us about prep basketball here in Nebraska, and we'll be looking forward to having you tomorrow as well.
I appreciate it, and hopefully we got some good games. A lot of great young talent doing really well for Nebraska, and it just shows that the state of Nebraska and girls basketball is only getting better and better as we go on.
He's Tom Villianco with Villianco Hoops. Again, very happy to have him on the show. He'll be with us on Saturday as we transition now from Class A to Class D2, the final breakdown, and we're taking Exeter Milligan, who took on Falls City Sacred Heart in those semifinals. Jay Hanna has more.
Top seeded Falls City Sacred Heart taking on number 5 Exeter Milligan in the Class D2 semifinals on Friday night. Falls City Sacred Heart boys already the Class D2 state champions in the football season. Well, this game started with a lid on the basket. This the first made field goal about 4 minutes into the game. Lexi Barnes knocks down a 3, and that's when the floodgates open. Jade Hill with the jump shot there to extend the Irish lead. Hill again with the drive and a left-handed finish. The Irish would score the first 17 points in the ball game. The Lady Irish played some lockdown D. Abby Figner with the steal, but Exeter Milligan would hang around. Catherine Wright with the jump shot. After she sees that one go in, she thinks, well, why not try it again? Hits one from the top of the key right here. Exeter Milligan would trail 23-7 at the half.
We knew we were getting stops, but I wish we could have got a little bit quicker lead there, score a little bit easier there. I think we missed 3 out of 6 free throws there, missed a couple shots. So, yeah, we were really good defensively. I just wish we could have a little bit cleaner offensively.
Exeter Milligan would make a run in the third quarter to cut the lead to 11. entering the final period of play, but senior Jade Hill would take over in the fourth. She would score 9 of Sacred Heart's 13 points in the quarter before the Lady Irish win at 45-26 to head back to the D2 championship.
We've beaten some pretty good teams this year, and they've played really good basketball. And tonight they worked their butts off tonight. And just happy with their efforts. And the goal tomorrow is to treat tomorrow like a championship game too, because St. Mary's and Why Not, they both had the championship game last year, so we want to go out on top, get third place.
Last season, Falls City Sacred Heart fell short of the championship game after being defeated by Why Not in the semifinals. This year's senior class decided they did not want to go back to that third place game.
Last year it was a horrible feeling, and I think us juniors last year all came together and we decided we're never going to feel like this again. We can't. And so we made it our mission to no more third place games, and we had to get back.
Reporting in Lincoln, I'm Jay Hanna, NCN Sports Now.
So there you go. Falls City Sacred Heart is back in the championship game in Class D2, and they get someone who, it's hard to think that two schools about 200 miles away could be rivals, but the way things have gone down here at State, they kind of are. Why Not taking on St. Mary's earlier this evening and getting the win? They outscore St. Mary's in the second half, 33-16, win by 10, 47-37. So let's take a look at the Class D2 brackets here, and you will see for the title, it'll be Falls City Sacred Heart against Why Not tomorrow. Those two teams met for the title back in 2015. Sacred Heart beat them. Last year, Why Not beat Sacred Heart in the semifinals en route to their victory over St. Mary's in the title game last year. And in 2014, Why Not defeated Sacred Heart en route to a state championship against Sterling. So for the last 4 years running now, whoever wins the Why Not Sacred Heart game wins the state championship in Class D2. And these are two very, very good championship-rich historical programs. Not surprising at all to see Why Not and Sacred Heart once again. Again, two teams nowhere near one another, but still very familiar with each other down here in Lincoln.
When you talk Class D2, just like you said, Eric, whether it's Why Not or whether it's Falls City, whatever sport it is, they have somebody playing in the postseason, and it's very fun that we're going to see them again. You have our Southeast Nebraska NCN demographic, our audience, cheering on them, in the Northeast going for Why Not. So we expect it to be a very good game. Both of those games coming into it, the teams put up about 40 points, so it's not like the Lincoln Christian Kearney Catholic where you have a team scoring 84 and a team scoring 40 coming into this one, and we expect this to be a knockdown, drag-out fight, as the rivalry, like you said, has been something that's been growing despite the space between the teams, and that always makes things a little bit more fun, as if you need anything more to play for at a state championship game to have that rivalry element added in as well.
Yeah, and you want to talk about championship pedigree. I'm just looking it up here. These two teams have combined for 10 championships between the two of them. Why Not looking for their 7th championship? Sacred Heart their 5th. So that's going to be a fun one in Class D2 tomorrow. They're all going to be great tomorrow. That's why we're going to have our cameras at all the games tomorrow, Brandon.
Not only the state championships, but we pride ourselves on those third-place games as well. A lot of good teams are going to be playing. There's still something to play for with those third-place contests in terms of potentially getting some younger talent, some experience down in Lincoln, wanting to get them the experience of coming back down and potentially making a championship. And taking that momentum into next year as well is always something that's big. So not only the 6 championship games, but those third-place games and plenty of highlights coming up on Saturday.
I love those third-place games. I'll be at a couple of them. We'll have 10 games for you tomorrow. We'll have guests. We'll have highlights. We'll have championships. Nets will be cut with scissors. It's what it's all about in girls basketball. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to do it again tomorrow.
Same here. It goes without saying. We get paid to sit at Pinnacle Bank Arena. I mean, look at the backdrop behind us. We're almost like we're professional sports broadcasters, Eric.
It seems like it at times. Yeah, it does.
Well, tune in at 10 p.m., just like Thursday night, just like Friday night, recapping Class A, B, C1, C2, D1, and D2, as well as those third-place games. Of course, if you're watching us on NCN Sports Now, that is where we will be streaming online on the website. If you're in Beatrice, you know channel 21.1 over the air, Norfolk channel 35.1 over the air, Columbus 48.1, and Grand Island 30.1. Give us a like on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at NCN Sports. We're tweeting out all throughout the contest. Scores, pictures, GIFs. even some interviews. We have it all for you, and we're very happy to be doing so. So we will be seeing you at 10 p.m. right here on Saturday night for the NCN Sports Now basketball show, recapping all of the action. We'll be sure to see you then.
At Midwest Bank, our business service is more than just a place for deposits and loan payments. We are here to help your business run more efficiently and be more successful. You deserve products that will make daily operations smoother and a banker who is working to build a stronger financial relationship with you. Visit your local Midwest Bank branch in Creighton, Norfolk, Pierce, Plainview, and Wisner. Member FDIC.
If you need therapy to recover from a surgery or a sports-related injury, Faith Regional Physical Therapy has a specialist for you.
Not all physical therapy is the same. Choose a team that delivers the best results.
Results come from having an advanced trained therapist working exclusively with you the entire session.
So no matter what type of therapy you need, we have the right specialist for you at Faith Regional Physical Therapy.
I understand that you work hard away from home, and when you get home, it should be comfortable. Hi, I'm Jay from Noakes. Noakes has been keeping people comfortable in southeast Nebraska and northern Kansas since 1961. And our highly trained technicians are available to handle all of your service issues, no matter what brand it is. So call the friendly folks at Noakes today and let us keep you comfortable all year long.
Thank you for watching this live presentation of News Channel Nebraska Sports. We now return to our regular programming.